We are here on the 28th of October, so we're set to start Chapter 10. Chapter 9 was all about let's put assemblies together, make sure we can mate things and get things to work out. So the homework for Chapter 9 is due at the end of the day today. Let's take a peek there and make sure we know exactly what we're doing. So in Chapter 9, Assembly Practice, our homework here, you'll notice that you have there was tutorials that were due, but then the step shaft and the step shaft assembly and the adjustable shaft support assembly. All of the files are here for you. They're renamed for those who have we're having the issue with the conversions, but they should be all set now because I renamed them and they're saved and we seem to be okay with that. So follow the instructions here. Make sure that you put your assemblies together. And then with the exception of the one allowed partially constrained part in the adjustable shaft assembly, everything else should be fully constrained, okay? Just that one is the one that we're gonna give the allowance on. But other than that, make sure that everything is fully constrained for both of those. Does anybody who's here right now, Luke, Jonah, or Josh, have any questions on the Chapter 9 assembly homework at all? I'm gonna stop sharing right now so I can look at the chat if there is anything. Doesn't look like it right now. So, but if something comes up, just don't hesitate. So I'm gonna reshare my screen. We'll go back to the Blackboard. So make sure that these are in by the end of today. These two guys are here, okay? Now, then what we're going to do, I'm just looking where the tutorials were. I'm not seeing, oh, the tutorials were due, that's right, on the 22nd. They're up over here. So we are going to now switch over gears and we're going to go into, let's create the drawings now for assembly. So it's nice to put them together, but we have to be able to create the bill of material, put them on a drawing border, and get them ballooned, okay? So we want to look at Chapter 10 for that process. So what I'm going to do is I am first going to go underneath my document camera here, and Chapter 10 starts on page 339. So this is Chapter 10, Assembly Drawings. Now, the big thing that the assembly drawings do here in this chapter is it sets up the borders so that you can get a bill of material set and then get the parts ballooned. And then also it sets up a couple different types of assembly views so that when you pull your drawings in that they're all set already. So I want to go over kind of what the process is here. First of all, what they're going to try to accomplish, what the process is. I'm going to do one of the tutorials here today and then kind of let you go from there. So as we turn the page here, you're going to notice that there's a couple different views of different assemblies. So the first one here, this is an assembly drawing. This is a 3D view of an assembly that is together, okay? 3D view of an assembly that is together. Then we have a subassembly, okay? So part of a larger assembly, but kind of putting a couple of pieces together to start off with that probably seems to make sense, or maybe pre-assemble if you would before it gets to its final. This is a subassembly drawing. So again, this is a 3D view with it together. Then we can also do exploded views. Now, exploded views, like I told you the last time we were together when we talk about assemblies, they're nice and all when we have parts manuals, okay? When we're kind of sending things out to the shop floor or for engineering purposes, we're either going to do like the orthographically projected assembly that we see here, okay? That's the preferred one. Or it is sometimes nice to show the parts together in the together form. The exploded views are really saved for things like parts manuals that maybe a layperson, a customer might be like, oh, I need to order that part, okay, or something like that. But for engineering purposes and for shop floor purposes, we would do one of these two, the together 3D view or like a 2 or a 3 view assembly drawing, okay? Notice that all of them, no matter which one we're at, have a couple things in common. There's a bill of material. Now, based on the experience that you guys have, and if you're here in Creo, you've had a couple levels of CAD already. You did the AutoCAD, you did SolidWorks, and now we're doing Creo. So bills of material are something you're familiar with. And basically what they do is they're going to let us know balloon-wise, okay, which part is which. Give a description. Now in this case, they have a column for component type, okay. Typically we would put part number in there, and then this is going to be the quantity that we see down here. And then it shows, you know, by balloon, which part is corresponding to the bill of material. Same thing you'll notice for the subassembly, just fewer parts, and then for the 2 view. Okay, the exploded view does the very same thing, but again, this isn't the type that you would actually send to the shop floor. We can do 3D. 3D is nice, but let's keep them together, or the 2D, or the 2 view. So in this chapter, the main activity that they're doing in the tutorials, and this will set you up then for the homework, is you're going to be creating the drawing borders that are going to then set up your bill of materials so that it automatically comes up, as well as picks the appropriate views and puts the balloons on. So we're going to be creating a assembly template, if you would, with the drawing border and all of that stuff in place so that it's all set for us. Those are the 2 things that we're going to be doing. So as we look here, I'm going to point here first, and then we're going to go back and do it. The very first tutorial, which starts on page 343, this is going to be an assignment that you have to go through because you have to create this type of a drawing border. We're going to create a drawing border. I'm actually going to go to the end here, where you are going to have the 3D view of the part when it's together, ballooned, and a bill of material up here. Okay, so that's the process that they walk through in pages 343 to 352. Okay, so that's the first type of border that you're going to create. Okay, then the next type of border that you're going to create is going to be the one that's going to start on page 352, and it goes to 364, and we're going to create a 2-view assembly together with the bill of material here. Okay, so those are the big 2 things. Now, once we have those created, then your problems are just pulling up some other assemblies and using those borders and creating the drawings, okay? And cleaning them up so that they're nice assembly drawings. So the tutorials are essential here. So they're actually worth more than the drawings that I'm actually having you assign. So let's look at our homework quick. So the tutorials are going to be required that you do. So if we go into Learning Plan, Chapter 10, down to Chapter 10 homework, okay? The Chapter 10 tutorials, there's 2 of them. They're actually worth 10 points each because you do have to go through some work here. And they're going to be creating those template borders for the 3D view and the 2 view assembly drawings, okay? And then you're going to use those in the problems that you have down here. So it looks like there's a lot of homework problems, but you already have these assemblies created, okay? And all you're going to do is you're going to put them on the appropriate border using the tutorial borders that you created, okay? So these down here end up being just 5 points each. There's still 40 points total because there's 8 to do, but you're going to do the adjustable shaft support with either the 3D assembly and the 2-view assembly. Then you're going to do the same thing for the step shaft subassembly, same thing for the take-up piece, and then the same thing for the take-up assembly. So you're doing 2 assemblies for 2 assembly drawings for 3 different assemblies that you've already created. So we're going to continue to build on what we've done. Okay? So what I'm going to do first here is that we're going to do today the tutorial to create the 3D view of the, what is it called? The swinging link. Okay? The swinging link. So please open up to page 343, and that's where this tutorial starts. Now again, this is a required tutorial for you to do that's going to be graded. Now I've already pulled up my Creo, and I have set my working directory. Now, as we start this, we're going to use one of our templates that we created. I don't remember the chapter. I think it was back in chapter 7 when we did the drawing borders. We're going to pull up one of those drawing borders, and we're going to use it to create our assembly border. Now, what I've done is I actually created, and I got them all set for us. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to Blackboard. I have the new logo LTC borders, so for Creo, and I have them for SolidWorks and AutoCAD as well. So let me get back to the learning plans. And you'll notice I added a folder here between chapter 10 and chapter 9. It's the new logo LTC drawing borders, okay? So if you go in here, I'm gonna give you a second, maybe a minute, to, if you wanted to follow along, to download these files. Now, the ones that are essential for today, okay, are going to be the LTCA format, so the FRM. Then you're gonna need the LTCA template 3D view, okay, at the bottom here. LTCA template 3D view, okay? And then the LTCA template 2 view, okay? Make sure that that format drawing, that format one is in the same working directory as all the other ones that you have, okay? Make sure that those are all in the same one. Now, so you want to download those, you want to put them into your working directory, okay? Put them into your working directory. Now, these are going to be the updated ones. They're going to be updated ones. So if you named them the same as before, I think they might be the same name as before. It might ask you to look over the top of it or save over the top of the old one, and you certainly may. And then as you come into Creo, make sure you set up your working directory to the same one that we've been using. So I've already done that. Now, if you want to use the borders that you created in there, that's totally fine. I'm going to use the LTC borders. And I would encourage you to do that because you're going to, when you get out into the work world, you're going to be using the company's borders as well. Okay. All right, so where we're going to start here is on the following page, on page 344, it says you want to start Creo. We're going to set our working drawing, and we're going to open up the A, and ours is going to be the LTC A template 3D view, the DRW, so the drawing file. So I'm going to go into Open, and it automatically gets to my working directory here, and I am going to open up. Now I have my assembly templates already set, but I want the LTCA template 3D view, okay? And that's going to be the DRW, 3D view, not the 3 view, the 3D view one. I'm going to open that up. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here, oops, what? I think I saved over the top of mine. Okay, let me do this. Hold on. I think I got to download mine. I might have actually saved over the top of what I wasn't supposed to. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to session. I'm going to erase all this deleted. Shoots. Okay, let me download this guy. And I'm gonna change it over. I'm gonna put it into my downloads, to my drive, and my working directory. Oops. There should be the good one. My downloads. I want to replace it. I was working with these last night. I was tired. I might have accidentally deleted over the top of something I wasn't supposed to. So let me go back in here and let's open up the replaced one now. Okay, LTCA 3D view. Shoot. I must have uploaded the wrong one. Okay. All right. Now I'm Actually, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. We're just going to use this and we'll go through the process anyway. It should be totally good. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to do exactly what they say. We're going to do the file, save as, and we're going to save a copy. And what you want to do is you want to do LTC A underscore template underscore assembly. Oopsie. Underscore, I'm going to do ASSY underscore 3D view so that you know that this is going to be the 3D view assembly. So I'm going to hit OK on that. And then we're literally going to do this step by step, okay? So I'm going to do a file, and I'm going to close this out. And I need to do the same thing again. I need to do file, manage session, erase what's not displayed, and I'm going to hit OK. All right. And now I'm going to reopen the file that I just saved. So I'm going to do open, and I'm going to go back over, and it's the one, the ASSY assembly template assembly, ASSY, and there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to tools, and I'm going to create a template. And I'm going to select the table tool over here. Now, it's telling me to double click on the material box in the title block. I did not change anything in the title block. I kept everything the same as what I have on my LTC title block. So I skipped over that, okay? So you don't need to do that. But before we get into the other part, what we are going to do is we are going to just delete, we're going to select and delete that bill of material up there. Okay, we're just going to re-put it in so that you have it. And then we are also going to delete this view as well. So we're going to select that and delete that, okay, so that we have a fresh piece of paper. Now we're going to go up and we're going to select the layout view here. And we're going to select template view. Template view. Okay, so this is where we need to call our new name assembly. Okay, and then over here for view status, okay, view status, we are going to have orientation not to the front, we need it to be the 3D view. 3D view. Now, make sure you put it in just like this and remember exactly how you call it, because we're going to have to then make sure that there is a view like that in our assembly drawing. Now you can put the exploded view in here too. So if you wanted to put the exploded view in as default, as they're saying, capital D, okay, that way you do have an option for an exploded view if you wanted. So it's not bad to have it. You can just check and uncheck it. We'll see where you can do that. And then we're going to go down to model display, and we want no hidden lines. And then we're going to go down to tangent edge display, and we want dimmed. Okay. Now, we also want to check balloons. Okay, check it. Make sure it's checked. And then we're going to place our view. Okay, place our view. Place our view. Why isn't it letting me place my view? Place my view. Okay, and I think I just have to click. There it goes. Okay. And then once that's done, okay, now when you place your view here, because we're going to have a bill of material up here, it's good to kind of go to a little bit to the left, okay, kind of in the middle-ish, but a little bit to the left. And then we're going to hit OK. All right, so we're all set there. Now, it's a good idea to just hit save here, automatically save, and then we're going to turn the page. We're going to start making our bill of material. So I'm going to zoom into the upper right-hand corner here, and we're going to go over to table, and we're going to create a table. So we're going to click on this. Now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 across and 2 down. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And then we're going to go in here and we're going to place it. Now, we want it to be right in the upper right-hand corner, like in that corner so that there's not a gap. So place it so it's right on those, that upper line and the right line, and then zoom in to make sure it's where it's supposed to be. See, mine's not all the way there. So I'm going to grab it again as a whole by selecting it and then moving it over when it's there, over onto the actual border, okay? Do you see how I did that? And I'm gonna check this part up here. This part looks good. Part looks good. Okay, so just make sure that it's scooched up there so that there's not a gap. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this table over here, and I believe it's table 2. So when I click on it, notice that it highlights it, okay? So table number 2 I pick, and I'm going to go to properties, which is like that edit definition symbol. And now I come up with this. I want to do my direction in the second box over here, like leftward and descending, okay? Leftward and descending. And then before I leave here, I want to set my column width to, now they have 0.5. I'm going to put 0.7, okay? I found that I just like it a little bit wider than the 0.5 that they have. So I'm going to put 0.7. And this is just going to set up the column width for us for you know, a couple of those. Now what I'm going to do is, that's my first column. I'm going to go to the second column. I'm going to click on that. And then just to the right of that properties or edit definition, there's a height and width for this second column. So the second column here now, I'm going to go down to the column, and the width that they suggest is 2 inches. I'm going to put 2.5, okay, 2.5, and then okay, just a little wider. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the third column. I'm going to click there. I'm going to change the width. Here they're suggesting 1.4. I'm going to say 2 inches. Okay, and then the last column is going to remain the same. Okay. All right, and then it says zoom in to check where things are. Just make sure that everything is on the corner there. It all looks good, that it's in the corner and not like offset from it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put headings on our columns. Now they use a little bit different, you know, names for things. We're going to call that first one item, okay? So that's going to be your balloon designation. So we're going to call that item and not index. Make sure this is in all caps. They don't do it in all caps, which kind of bugs me. The next one is description. Oops, I-O-N. Make sure you spell it right. And you just got to click like a different cell to kind of get out of it. Then double click on the third one to activate where we can start, like I am. And this one I'm going to put part number, okay? Because that's what we should be looking for, and we'll kind of adjust that as we go. Right now we haven't been setting ourselves up as part number, but it's good to put it in there so that for future ones we'll make sure that we add it in. And then the last column is going to be quantity, Q-T-Y. And then you can just hit enter. Oopsie, not enter. Now, it wants you to not hit enter here and do a save, file, save. Okay, file, save. All right. Now, the next section here is really important. So it's one of those things that you got to do this one step by step. So if there's any place that you're going to pay really close attention to, starting on step number 33, this is the part. Okay, so now we're going to go into, actually, I'm going to escape out of here. I don't. Why that's selected like that. So I'm going to go back to the table, and we're going to hit repeat region, okay? Repeat region, and this menu manager comes up. We're going to hit add, and make sure that simple is selected down here. And now this is where you have to be really careful. So you're going to click, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I am going to click the item, second row of the item. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to go over and I'm going to click on the quantity, second row. Click here. Now it doesn't look like anything happened, so don't click again. All right, it tells you not to do that. We're going to arrow down. I hit an arrow down here, and I'm going to hit done. Done. Okay, so we'll see if this worked out okay, because I had to do it a couple times. If it doesn't, just try to redo it again. That's all. So now I'm going to double click on the item and this report symbol comes up. So I'm going to put in here RPT, and then I'm going to put index, okay? And that's going to then pull from the balloon. Now don't worry about the overlap here, it's totally fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click in the inside here, and this is when I know it works good, because if you didn't do it right, it's going to actually want to put text in there, okay? If you get this report symbol, then you're all set. So now I'm in this one, I'm going to put ASM, and it's going to be MBR, and then it's going to be name. Then we're going to go to underneath part number. We're going to click that. It's going to be assembly, MBR, and then this one is going to be common name, okay? Now, it isn't going to be set up quite right with a number, but going forward, we're going to kind of plan for that when we create assemblies. And then quantity, we're going to double click on that, RPT, QTY, and then you're done, okay? And that's it. What was that? It should be down towards the bottom.
Oh, PTC.
Yep, PTC, common name, yep. Yep.
That's the last one.
Yep, it's going to be the RPT and then quantity, QTY. Yep. Okay, so that's all set. Now, we're gonna select this box by drawing the imaginary box around it. So you're just gonna left click and drag around, okay? And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to we're going to click on this, okay? And then what's gonna come up is this box, and we are going to do the text editor box, which is to the right of that column and row business. The text editor box, right? Maybe this wasn't it. Cancel. Let me cancel out of here and say, are you sure you want to cancel? Yes. Also go like this. Second. Draw an imaginary box around the entire thing, then press and hold. Oh, I did the left mouse button. It should be the right mouse button. So let me click right here. Now I'm going to do right mouse button. There it is. Right mouse button. And I want to do the text style right here. Text style. And then I'm going to get this guy. Okay. So right mouse button and then do the text style. Then here underneath the note dimensions, horizontal, we want these to be center. And then on the vertical, we want it to be middle. So when I hit apply, notice that it justified to the center and it centered them, you know, top to bottom here. So I'm going to hit OK, right?
For some reason, some of my commands are 2 rows.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if that makes it.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look afterwards. Okay. So then with the repeat region still selected, so if we go back to select repeat from the table, okay, then we're going to do this guy again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select attributes. Attributes from there. Use the left mouse button to pick the second row of the table, okay? So pick the second row, and then we need to say no duplicates, no duplicates. And then we're going to select done and return. And then we're going to scroll down and pick done. That down arrow and then pick done, okay? Now while we're still in here, we want to select or create balloons here, create balloons, and then create balloons all, okay? And that's it. That's it. Now we're going to do a file, save. Okay, file, save. And now it should be all set up. Now we'll find out if it is, because that's what we're going to do with our swinging link. We're going to find out if we did it okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, I'm going to close, I'm not going to close out. I'm going to do file, close. But then I need to also do file, manage session, and erase not displayed. So we want to get rid of that. So we've got like a clean slate, like we would have gone out without going out. Okay. Now just verify that your working directory is still set. Mine is. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is we are going to create a drawing. We're going to create an assembly drawing. So we're going to start new. We're going to go to drawing. And now you're going to call it whatever you want to. So for instance, file name, we're going to call it swinging underscore link. We do have to put that the underscore in there. And then the common name. Now this is where that would be in the part number column. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just to put a number in there. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, default model. This is going to be the model that we're going to pull from. So this is going to be the swinging link assembly. So we're going to go browse, and this should be in your working directory. So I'm going to do swinging link. I think it's my first one I'm going to do. Swinging link. And then we're going to hit open. Okay, so that's going to stay up there. Then we're going to say use template. Use template. So we're going to browse, and we're going to pick the template that we just created. Okay, because we want to test it. We want to see if it's going to work. So this is the template assembly 3D. And then open. Okay. And once we have that, we can hit OK. All right, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. So what you'll notice here is that it is telling us that we don't have a saved 3D view drawing in that particular model, in that assembly, okay? So what we need to do is we need to go back to the assembly and save a 3D view of the drawing so that we can then import in here, okay? So we're just going to file, close, so we're gonna have to start over with this, so don't worry about that, and then file, manage session, and then erase not displayed. Okay, so we kind of cleaned everything up again. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna open that swinging link assembly. Okay, open, swinging link assembly. Open. All right, so here it is. So what they're looking for is, if I go up here to my, what is this called? The standard orientations, the default orientations, all that kind of thing. This is what it's looking for. It's looking for a view. My assembly drawing is looking for a view that's called 3D view. Okay, it's looking for one, and there's not one there. If there was, you know, when we set up the borders before, it looked for a front view or a right view or a top view, and they were here. Okay, but there's not a 3D view here, so we need to save one. So what we want to do is, before we save it, we want to get it into an orientation that I can kind of see everything, okay? That I can kind of see everything. So I'm gonna kind of put it like this-ish. I don't know, something that looks like you feel like you can get the balloons in place and it's gonna make sense, okay? Something like that. And I guess that's not super important at this point because we're just gonna use it as an example in the tutorial. But then I'm gonna go right next to this and I'm gonna go to View Manager, okay? I'm gonna click on that. And what I wanna do is I need to go to, I think it's Orient, okay? Yep, Orient. That's the orientation. So these are all the standard ones that are in there. And I want to add a new one. So I'm going to click on New. And notice now I have the opportunity to do 3D and do it all in caps like we did in the assembly drawing. So it's looking for the appropriate title. And then I'm just going to hit Enter, okay? And now it's in there. So now if I hit Close here, and let's say I go back to my orientations, I'm going to go to standard orientation, okay? But then I'm going to switch back, and you'll notice that now I have that 3D view in there, and I have the 3D view, and now it's there for me, okay? So now that is saved in there, we have to save our file. So go ahead and save your swinging link assembly so that it remembers that it's there. And now I'm going to I don't think I need to close this. I can just do File, and I can just start a new drawing, and I'm going to call it my swinging link. And then common name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is fine. And then okay. And it has that already in there. And now my template is going to be my LTC template assembly 3D view. I'm going to hit open and I'm going to hit OK. And now it's there. See that? Now, it did do an exploded view for me because the exploded is in there. I had saved an exploded view. If you did an exploded view for that one and it wasn't required for the tutorial when we did it, you'll probably have this happen, but I'll show you how you can change that. If yours is together, then you probably don't have a saved exploded view. So, did yours come in now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's the deal. You have to have that 3D view saved, and you want to make it so that it's one that's going to make sense with being able to see as many balloons as possible. Okay, so that's that. Now, how do we get this together? Did yours come in exploded, Josh? Yours didn't. Okay, because you didn't do an exploded view, right? Now, you did it. You just didn't save it. Yep, that's no problem. So to do that, let me see. I gotta remember where this is. So the design intent, pick the balloons options. Okay, so I'm gonna double click that exploded view, double click this. This comes up, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to view states, and I'm gonna uncheck the explode components view, and I'm gonna apply, and I'm gonna hit OK, and now I'll put it back together for me. So if you did that whole tutorial and you weren't required, I said don't worry about the exploded view if you don't want. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do exploded views, first of all. and second of all, like I said, they're not the ones that you necessarily want for sending out to the shop floor and manufacturing. These kind, when they're together, and or the orthographically projected ones are the common ones. Okay, so now what we would do here is we would like clean this up. So you'll notice that there is like a bunch of different, planes and things called out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to each one of these, and if I click on it, isn't it giving me the option? Oh, maybe it's in here. The option to turn those on and off.
You turn them all on and off in that little ribbon above. If you go like
which one?
Over your drawing where it has like the zoom to fit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You go to the axis, you can hit select all.
Are you serious? I've been doing them separately. Oh, select all, or you can turn them all off, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the short. I was doing them in the model tree all the time.
I did that for a while. I was like, there's got to be a better way.
Good. Oh my gosh. So if you didn't hear that, Josh just gave us a tip. Over here, we can actually turn them all off right there. Oh my gosh, that's so much easier. So look at that. Now we're done, right? Now you'll notice, because when we did our parts, our individual parts in the common name area, we did not put our part number in there. Okay. So going forward, let's be a little bit more cognizant of that, because down here you'll notice in the title block, the common name goes to the drawing number. Okay. So what I did was my part name was my name at the top, but then my common name is going to be our drawing number. And that's what I have in the bill of material as well. So going forward with our parts, our common name, we're going to assign a part number to it. And the regular name is going to be what we actually put in the title block there. Okay. So I still want the, even though they're not part numbers for the part numbers there, just leave them there because we haven't been practicing that. But going forward, we're going to kind of be more aware of that based on how the bill of material is set up. Okay, so basically what you would do here then is you would do your screenshot showing me, everything here so that I can see that everything worked out. Now, if something doesn't populate, properly, or if it didn't come in, then for, something wasn't set up right when you actually did the assembly template for the drawing. And if that's the case, just go back and do it again. That's all, okay? Now, I encourage you to start with the LTC borders, because then they're like official then, and it looks, I think it looks better. And we had the old symbol, but now we have the new symbol, so we can kind of update that. But it's your choice. If you like the ones that you created for yourself when you did the original ones a couple chapters ago, feel free to do that too. I'm not gonna say you can't. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do then is you want to work on the two-view tutorial. Now, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to save that for early next week, and then move to creating the assemblies that I have assigned there using these two formats of the templates that we just created. Okay. So that's all that I have for today. If you guys have any questions as you're working, don't hesitate to reach out. But don't forget, Chapter 9 is due at the end of the day today. And then I guess I didn't look at the calendar, but a week from today, the homework for Chapter 10 will be due. So if we look at our course calendar, I have the tutorials due on Tuesday, and then I have the actual problems due on Thursday. Based on having the templates done, like I said, the meat of it is actually in those tutorials, getting those templates set up. Then once you have those set up, they're real easy to import in. So you shouldn't have any problems getting all those done within a week. All right, that's all that I have for today, and we'll just keep moving along. If you have anything, let me know. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to stop recording. Have a great weekend.